One of our biggest stories involves that escaped inmate from Rockdale County who was just captured this morning. Our Rob DiRienzo's been following this story, and we know a news conference just wrapped up with the Rockdale County Sheriff. Rob, truly incredible. We saw this guy take an Uber. He was knocking on people's doors before he was captured. Give us a little bit of the backstory. Where was he ultimately found, and how did we get here?
Hey there, Ariel. Good afternoon. Well, we got a lot of new details from the Sheriff's news conference just a short time ago here at Rockdale County Sheriff's headquarters. Now, we're learning that he left Grady Memorial Hospital beginning on Monday morning wearing nothing but a hospital gown, no socks, no shoes. From there, police say that he went on a crime spree, stole those two cars, and then somehow managed to take an Uber to another location. That all came to a head this morning, but I want to give you a look at what he looked like once he was taken into custody early this morning by deputies and law enforcement. This is 52-year-old Timothy Shane. He has been on the run, as I mentioned, since early Monday morning when he escaped deputies' custody while at Grady. The sheriff tells us he believes Shane staged a suicide attempt to get there. After he got out, cops say he managed to steal two cars, one with a gun in it, then took an Uber to a Henry County Publix yesterday. It seemed like the trail went cold last night. That was until this morning around 1 a.m. when people on Morris Street in the Covington area of Newton County said he was going door to door claiming he was lost. Covington police tell us they were first tipped off around 6 p.m. last night that he may be in the area, but they just couldn't track him down. Then at 1 a.m., that knocking began and Rockdale's K-9 team went out there, and police say they ended up finding him inside an abandoned home in that neighborhood, and he was taken into custody and brought back here without further incident. But the sheriff now faces some tough questions about how that inmate was able to escape from deputies' custody. Listen to what he said about that in the news conference.
We don't know exactly what they were doing. We are currently awaiting surveillance from the hospital to see what exactly could have, if anything went wrong, as to how he escaped and why he escaped. What the employee was doing, what policies that could have been broken or not broken. And so I hope that, and I believe that our community can trust in our abilities, and when we investigate how things like this happen, and that the conclusion is going to be facts, based upon facts.
Ariel, still a lot of unanswered questions, but we did get confirmation from the sheriff that at least one of the deputies who was assigned to watch Shane that night is now on administrative leave, pending the outcome of this internal investigation. I also was able to confirm that Shane is back here at the Rockdale County Jail behind bars, but it remains to be seen what new charges he now faces. Ariel?
Yeah, Rob, this has really just been quite the saga over the past few days, and it was interesting listening to that news conference. And one of the first things the reporter asked was just, hey, what do you say to people who are lacking faith now in the Rockdale County Sheriff's Agency because this guy was able to escape? And I know the sheriff said that no agency is perfect and they're working to kind of right the wrongs. Do you feel like there were any unanswered questions to that regard as the reporter on this story?
Absolutely. There were tons of unanswered questions throughout that news conference, and we did press him a lot, and we said, well, what do you know? And he says that they're waiting on surveillance video from Grady as well as other components to try to piece together what exactly went wrong here, because something clearly did go wrong for this inmate to be able to leave protective custody at Grady. But we did not get a lot of definitive answers out of him. He did continue to cite this internal investigation, but as you can imagine, this is something like egg on the face for the sheriff's office here, that one of their main jobs is to keep jail inmates in custody. It seems like something clearly went wrong here, and that was not able to happen early Monday morning on Grady. Now we're pressing on these answers, but so far we have very little about the specifics of those.
Yeah, Rob, great job. I'm taking a look through our YouTube chat right now, seeing if people have any questions for you. Someone did comment and said Rockdale's deputy was outsmarted by a guy who thought knocking on doors at 1 a.m. was a good idea. So it kind of gives you a perception of what some of the people are thinking here publicly about the situation. As we move forward, I know you'll continue to get answers and work to figure out how this happened. Before I let you go, any final thoughts or things you think that people streaming along with us should know about this story?
Well, Ariel, it seemed like at several points throughout the news conference, the sheriff alluded to it almost seemed like a conspiracy on behalf of Shane to hatch this plan to supposedly fake a suicide attempt, and was able to essentially play the deputies all the way to Grady. Now, we haven't been able to get confirmation of that, but that's where his frame of mind seems to be right now. This was a well thought out plan. He says that no other inmates, as far as he knows, colluded with him on the inside. On the outside, that remains to be seen, but that's what he continued to hint at. I think time will tell if there's any truth there.
Rob, you know, you bring up such a good point, because we were talking about that so much here in the newsroom about that story. Like, it takes a lot to get an Uber. You know, you've got to have a card on file to be able to request a car, and just seems like this inmate was able to have so many steps go right for him to be able to escape as long as he did. So a big question I think people are wondering is, was there any help? Were people trying to set him up at all? And like you said, remains to be seen, and hopefully we get some of those answers as the investigation continues. So, Rob, thank you so much. Yeah. Appreciate you. Okay, let's see. Rob actually might be, hold on. I feel like, Rob, I might have cut you off. Let me come back to you. I think you might have said something interesting. Go ahead. I want to make sure I got your last bit. What were you saying?
I apologize. I just didn't want to leave our viewers without this. This is an important part, where the sheriff says when they arrested him and when they looked around his possessions, they didn't find a phone, which obviously you need a phone to order an Uber. So it remains to be seen how exactly he was able to order these Ubers without any phone on his person.
Rob, very important clarification there. No phones. So how was he able to get the Uber? Definitely very curious. So thank you for that, and we'll stay tuned to you as you get any new updates on this story. So Rob DiRienzo, thanks so much.